good. Hope you guys are trying to take care of yourselves because life is lifing. But wanted to hop on here and kind of discuss something that's been on my mind as of late. And I was hoping to kind of give some advice to anyone that is thinking about getting into a long-term relationship or is in a long-term relationship. So I want to say, before you get into a long-term relationship, make sure, listen to me closely, make sure you have done the work to take care of yourself before you get into that relationship. The reason I'm saying this is because if you look through media, if you look through relationships that you see around you, some of them may be good, but there is a lot, based on my observation, there's a lot of relationships out there that need a lot of work. There's a lot of relationships that, unfortunately, you could tell the people were not ready to get into that serious relationship. And you could tell by when certain people get married. Marriage is not a joke, guys. I'll tell you that right now. Marriage is overtime, sometimes without even pay. Like when you get into a marriage, you have to work doubles, triples. You got to work on your sick day, the days when you're just not feeling well. You got to punch in when the time clock is everybody's crowded around the time clock. You got to still punch in. Like, it's no joke. And I think there are people in this world that glorify a wedding, but they don't realize the importance of a marriage. I'm gonna say that again. I think a lot of people in this world, I've seen it more so on women's side, they glorify the wedding, the bells, the whistles, everybody snapping pictures, but they don't understand what a marriage is. You know, back in the day when, you know, our grandmothers were married, they were married for like 50 years, some astronomical number. Now, I know there's people out here that are married for that long, but how many couples do you really see that are married for that long? Do you guys know a lot of couples that are married for like over 50 years? I mean, I feel like that's rare. Like, I don't see that many marriages that last that long. And this is what kind of leads to my conversation today, this afternoon. We got to do the work to make sure we are taking care of ourselves before we decide, you know what, I'm going to get into this serious relationship. You have to make sure you take care of yourself before you say to yourself, yeah, I'm ready for this relationship. I'm ready to put the ring on this person's finger. Because guess what's going to happen if you're not ready? Time will tell. What's going on, Praneef? How you doing? I'm doing good. I hope you're doing good too. What's going to happen is, if you don't take the time to practice deep insight into who you are as a person, we're talking about relationships, Praneef. If you don't take the time to look into yourself with great insight and kind of gather the details you need to know about yourself, who you are, what makes you happy, what are things that help you to calm down when you're upset. So many things that everyone needs to know about themselves. If you don't take the time to do these things before you get into a relationship, you're going to go into this long-term relationship with a glass half empty. And many of us, including myself, I'll put myself in it, a lot of us go into relationships thinking the other person needs to fill that same half empty glass. And I'll be honest, that person will never be able to fill that half empty glass. You know why? Because there are certain things that a person can do. Your partner is not made to make you happy. Sure, they'll do good things to make you feel like, yeah, I can smile, I can enjoy their company. But the only person that's going to make you happy is you. Let me read. I hear you. We would like to wish you all the best for your future. Wish you all the best. Thank you so much, Praneeth. I appreciate that. What's up, Kai? What's going on? We're talking about relationships, and a lot of things in 2025. A lot of relationships don't last long. At least it's not proclaimed like back in the day when you used to see your grandmother, your grandfather be married for like 50 years. You know what I mean? Percio, how you doing? So all I'm saying on here is work on yourself. Work on yourself to a point where it's like, I know I'm going to help myself before I get into any kind of serious relationship. Because when you get into a serious relationship, trust me when I say, what's up, Juan? Trust me when I say, when you get into a serious relationship, the person that you're with is not responsible to make you happy. You are going to always be the person that's responsible for making you happy. The person that you're going to be with is a supplement. So what that means is whoever you're with and you end up with, they will only be there to put smiles on your face, make you feel like, yeah, things are going well. You're doing good things for me. I appreciate it. That you're my partner. But truly, if you really gather the insight and understand what a partner is supposed to be about, they're not meant to make you happy. If you don't come into that relationship happy, you're always going to have high expectations for your partner. You're going to think, oh yeah, you know what? It's just like a person that comes into a relationship depressed, right? You come into a relationship depressed, and now you're wondering why my partner is not making me happy. It's because you have work to do. You have to figure out how not to be depressed. You got to figure out, and depression is something that you can't just spark a solution on. It's way deeper than that. So there's some things that you have to really work on before you decide, hey, I'm just going to get into this relationship. Because like I said in the beginning, many people that I observed want the wedding. They want the glitz, the glamour. They want people to snap the pictures. They want people to understand or be happy for them in those moments. But what happens when the wedding is over? Let's ask that question. What happens when the wedding is over? The honeymoon is over. The champagne bottle is empty now. What happens? This is the time when things get serious. Like you literally got to look at your partner and say, you know what? Damn, this is serious. We're actually married. We are actually married now. We got to really do this. Like there's no more dancing on the wedding floor. There's no more, going to the island to celebrate your honeymoon. I mean, you could still go back to the island when you're married, but you know what I mean? It's like, what do you do then? What's the solution then? When you really got to look at your partner and understand that, okay, now we got to really work on our marriage. And the thing about marriage is there are people that get into marriages and then they get comfortable. Like just sitting in the lazy boy with your chips. They put their feet up. They don't realize I really have to work at this marriage. I can't just get so comfortable in this marriage thinking this person is going to stay with me forever now. Don't ever get comfortable thinking, okay, this person is just going to be happy with me for the rest of their lives. Because one thing you got to understand is people change in their marriages. No one is going to stay the same. Your partner, as beautiful as she is, as beautiful as your partner is, she's going to begin to gain some weight. She's going to begin to get that belly. She's going to begin to start to get wrinkles. So if you're marrying for the wrong reasons, if you're marrying just because a person looks good, understand that the body will change. Everything about that person will change. So you got to understand, what quality am I staying here for? Am I staying here just for looks? Because there's a lot of beautiful women out there. Just like there's a lot of handsome men out there for the ladies. But if you're staying in a marriage for the wrong reasons, it will be revealed. It will be revealed very fast. What's up, Coffee? Trust me, I'm not even worried about it. I'm just on here just chatting. Trolls are gonna troll. That's all I know. But I appreciate it. What's up, Steak? How you doing? Just on here, just talking about relationships. On here, just talking about, you know, just how much relationships have changed in 2025. You know, we got the whole male versus female gender wars. That is very rampant right now going on. And I feel like a lot of people are losing touch with just understanding what a relationship should be about. You know, we got this whole 50-50 conversation going on. And my thoughts on that is, it depends on what you and your partner want to do. Honestly, whatever fits you and your partner, that's what you should do. If your partner wants to go 50-50 and you agree, you guys can do that. If you guys don't agree with 50-50 and you want the man to pay all the bills, that is to each his own. But I feel like the problem lies, one of the problems that I see with this is, it seems like the agenda is being pushed. From a lot of videos that I've seen, it seems like the agenda is being pushed that a man has to pay all the bills. Like there has to be this qualifying list that has to be met in order for a man to be with a woman. And that's the narrative I keep hearing. And I don't agree with that. I feel both parties, male and female, have to bring something to the table. You can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm the table. I'm the table. No one is the table. We put items on the table and we see what comes on the table and we say, yeah, I like that. Cool. Let's get together. No one is the table. Let's cut that out. Everybody has to do their part. Everybody has to bring something to a relationship. You can't be that arrogant to say, I am the table. You got to bring something to the table. How else are you going to sit down and enjoy the company if you're claiming you're the table? Were you made with wooden legs? That'll be my next question if you're the table. Do you have screws in you? I'm sure there's a lot of screws loose in a lot of people's minds nowadays, but neither here or there. Anyway, we have to look in ourselves and figure out what makes us happy. Don't go into these relationships thinking this person beside me has to make me happy, no matter what. They have to make me happy. And a lot of people have this false hope. Like I said, a lot of people have this glass half empty mentality when they go into these relationships. And you go in with your cup, your glass, and you hold it out to your partner and say, you know what, fill it up. Fill up my glass, please. That's not your partner's responsibility to fill up your glass. That's our responsibility to fill up our own glass. When our glass is full and we go into relationships, guess what the benefit is? The benefit is we start realizing we already make ourselves happy. Stardust, what's going on? It's been a long time. Hope all is well. How you doing? But like I'm saying, if we go into a relationship with our glass half empty and we expect people to fill our glass all the time, we're going to get to a point where it's like we realize our glass is still half empty. Thank you, Stardust. I appreciate it. Because one thing about a relationship that I've realized over the years is you have to fill yourself up from the beginning. You have to learn self-care. You have to learn mental health. What am I doing for myself? Because when you get into a relationship, you have to be able to provide certain things. If you're going into a relationship with a glass half empty, what are you going to be able to provide for your partner? What are you going to be able to provide for the things that they may need, the things that you may need to supplement? Think about that recently. Oh yeah, 100% Stardust. This was on my mind too, and I said, let me come on here and really talk about it, because I'm sure you're aware of this too, Stardust, that there's a big gender war going on. If you look on social media, that's all you hear, gender wars. The 50-50 conversations, the, various topics when it comes to men versus women. There's a big narrative going on. And unfortunately, it's a very negative narrative. It's not a narrative that can actually help people. It helps you to kind of see how people are, but it's not benefiting anyone. That's the unfortunate thing. Like I said, if you are not working on yourself, if you're not looking at yourself deeply with deep insight and gathering the details of your soul, your spirit, understanding who you want to be, what you need to work on, accountability. Accountability is that pill many of us refuse to swallow. Many of us are still just looking in the mirror thinking, I look good. Yeah, I'm good. Good to go. No, many of us need to stay in that mirror. Many of us need to stay in that mirror and continuously look at it. And the reason why I say that is because we need to understand there's more to a mirror than just physical reflection. Did you hear what I said? There's more to a mirror than just physical reflection. Many of us don't even look past the physical reflection. We just don't see, like, okay, what do I need to change in here for me to be a better person? What can I do to do my part in this world? The world is already bad enough. We see what's going on out there. We see what's happening in the world. And if we are not willing to change ourselves, how are we willing to still point the finger at someone else? Trust me, there's a lot of finger pointing that needs to occur. Trust me when I say that. I know that. But if we truly want to see better, shouldn't we also start with ourselves? That's the question I want to leave with you guys. Should we look at ourselves, or should we only look at the dirt on someone else's welcome mat? Everyone has to approach their own doorstep and kind of see what's going on in their own lives. So before you enter someone's home, check your own doormat. Is it dirty? Is it filthy? That means we got cleaning up to do too. That's what that means. So, not to get too deep on it, but this was my thoughts. This was my thoughts on it. And it's crazy. This is a crazy world we live in. And sometimes you just have to stop and just breathe. Stop and kind of reflect on where you are right now. What's in your mind? What's affecting your soul? Where are you being mindful of your moments? That's what I want to say. Are you being mindful of what's going on around you? What's going on in your heart? What's happening? Just reading some comments here. You have done very great things for your freedom. Thank you, Justified Engagement. I appreciate that. How you doing, by the way? But yeah, let me know your thoughts, guys. Let me know I just wanted to get on this live and kind of chat it up a little bit and express myself in this way. Be mindful. Understand that we all can do work on ourselves. Before we get into a relationship, we got to fix what's inside of our hearts first. We can't jump into a relationship with all of these issues thinking we can make someone else better, or they can make us better. A partner is going to be a supplement to make things better in the relationship. But if we're not willing to look in the mirror first and see what we can change, we're going to be a detriment to our partners. That's the goal. That's what I wanted to really speak on and kind of convey that message. So I hope all of you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for getting onto this live. I appreciate all you guys. If anyone is not a subscriber to my channel, you want to hear more deep messages and us just having a conversation, join my channel. I hope to see you guys soon. Take care of yourself, guys, and have a wonderful day. I appreciate you guys. Take care.